Science of Being, 27 Lessons, by Eugene Fergsen. Copyright 1927. Lesson 1. One of the dominant traits of modern humanity is the desire for independence. Humanity is seeking it above everything else and is willing to pay the price for it, no matter how high that price may be. And yet, what is real independence after all? Is it based on social position or on great intelligence, on physical strength or on money? Adverse conditions can make rich people lose their fortune. Diseases can destroy physical strength. The most brilliant intellect may be misunderstood by people and therefore fail to bring forth the expected practical results. And social position itself is of all human powers the most unreliable and unstable. Under these conditions, something else has to be sought. A power which will never fail you, a power great enough to meet every emergency, a power close enough to be right at hand whenever it is needed. It is only such a power that can bring real independence. What is this power, and where is it to be found? It is within you. It is outside of you. It is the power of life itself. Within you there seems to be only a limited supply of it, and when that supply is exhausted you are like an engine short of fuel. From where have you to get the fuel your human engine needs? From the great storehouse of all energy, of all life, from the universe itself. There is an infinite supply of power around you. All you need to do is to learn how to draw upon it and how to use it in every department of your daily life. This power is the life energy of the universe, the foundation and apex of all existence, the first and most sublime manifestation of our Great Mother, Nature herself. It is that which always was, is, and always will be, changeless as fundamental power yet variable in its infinite manifestations, eternal through time, infinite through space with its center always there where you contact it, underlying, pervading, governing, sustaining and encompassing everything. When this power is within you, you call it life. Outside of you its name is primal energy or universal life energy. Because of it, everything in nature lives. It is in the currents of the earth, in the waves of the ocean, in the strength of the wind, in the heat of the sun, in the soft rays of the moon. Electricity exists because that power is back of it. Withdraw that force from anything, and that thing would cease to be, would die. Even the universe would collapse were that power withdrawn from it. This power, known as universal life energy, or simply life energy, as it will be called in these lessons, is the very essence of everything there is. Not only do sound, light, electricity, radioactivity, etc., derive their power from it, but also called material elements and objects are found in their final analysis to have originated from universal life energy. They are known by different names in accordance with the different aspects under which they appear, although they all come from the same source. For instance, take steam. Superheated steam is invisible. It possesses great dynamic power when under control. When liberated, it has the tendency to diffuse itself. Someone who does not know through science the different transformations which can take place with steam would never think that in another aspect this hot, light, ever-moving gas appears as a block of solid ice, cold, heavy, motionless. So it is with that which we call matter. Previous to the time that science was able to show the direct relation between the invisible forces and the so-called material elements, this world was considered the battlefield where matter and so-called spirit were fighting their unceasing battle. The general tendency was to side with matter, because those who saw creation only as a material unit totally ignored the invisible forces back of the so-called manifestations. On the other hand, another part of humanity tried to reach spiritual attainment, harmony and happiness by fighting matter, by suppressing their senses, and even by denying their own physical bodies. Science of being explains the difference between those two concepts and shows impartially and impersonally the conditions as they actually are, not as they were believed to be. Under the light of this science is revealed the unity of creation with its two poles, one of which is spirit, represented by universal life energy, and the other the so-called matter. Science of being explains to you that universal energy, when in a free condition, is called life energy and manifests itself through motion and vibration. Everything in this universe vibrates, moves, even things which at first sight seem to be entirely motionless. In its primary condition of condensation, universal life energy forms microscopic spheres called electrons. Electrons are considered the very substance of the universe, and as far as modern researchers in that direction have been able to discover, electrons underlie everything, everywhere, on the furthest star the same as here on Earth. Combinations of electrons, differing one from another by their number and mutual relations and revolving in a certain space filled with free energy, are called atoms. Atoms, in turn, are the fundamental units which constitute matter in its three aspects: solid, liquid, and gaseous. The more electrons, or condensed energy, present in the atoms of a material element, the heavier, denser, and more substantial that element becomes. Those tiny electrons are in perpetual motion, rotating with an extraordinary velocity upon their own axes and revolving around a central electronic nucleus which acts as a little sun in its own microscopical planetary system. As all elements are made of atoms, therefore within even solid matter there is a continual movement of those electrons. Everything, everywhere, moves in this universe of eternal movement. Your human body is formed, like all other bodies, of atoms and electrons. Therefore, within your own physical body, everything is in a perpetual motion governed by certain invisible yet definite universal laws. As long as your body functions according to those laws, its condition will be a harmonious one, because the laws themselves work always with perfect harmony. But if, through ignorance, you interfere with the normal functioning of those laws, inharmony will be the result. That inharmony may express itself through body or through mind. In the first instance it is called disease, in the second negative traits of character. But both trace their origin to a common cause, namely, conscious or unconscious violation of the universal law. If this cause is removed, then all its varied manifestations, troubles physical and mental, will vanish also. You may ask the question, how shall I know all the different and very complex operations of the universal laws? The answer is, know the fundamentals, be one with the law in its main aspects, and do not worry about details. If left alone, details will work out harmoniously by themselves. Another question may be asked by you. What am I as an individual, and for what purpose am I placed on earth, ushered into existence seemingly without my knowledge or consent? First, let us have a clear definition of what you are. In order to proceed logically, let us go back to what has been explained in the beginning of this first lesson. Eternal nature manifests herself as that universal, infinite, all-powerful and eternal force called universal life energy. This force is a living power, being the very life of the whole universe. It is also intelligent because it is universal mind. Law-emitting and law-abiding is this power, and as such it is called universal law. Harmonious is this force also, and through its law of attraction or love it keeps the whole universe in a condition of perfect equilibrium and harmony. Projections of this universal life energy are continual aged and science of being, I and light proceeding from their source in nature into material manifestations. These manifestations vary in degrees, details and complexity of their fundamental qualities. The strongest manifestations known to us now, and the most complex, are called man, or you, a triune being, made up of a body, a mind and a soul. You are directly related with life energy, which is the basis of your triune nature, through all three of these constituent parts. Consequently, you are eternally linked with nature herself also through the immutable and eternal part of your being, your soul. Therefore, though individual in one sense of the word, you are yet one with your fellow beings, one with nature and everything in her, because you all originated from one common source. That is why environment is able to exercise such an effect on the individual, and the individual on his environment, either constructively or destructively. There is a kinship between you deeper and more subtle than any of blood, a community of spirit welding all things into a brotherhood no less influential because it is not commonly perceived. Though mind is not first as a fundamental, being second in the eternal, logical order of creation, yet your human mind is one of the most important faculties you possess. Through it you become conscious of the full value of that first fundamental of all being, life. You begin to perceive all life's infinite possibilities for unfoldment and to discriminate also between right and wrong, good and evil, according to whether they will help or hinder that unfoldment. You realize gradually that the success, or good, in your life comes in direct proportion to your unification with universal forces and laws, while the disharmonious results, such as failure, poverty, disease and trouble, are the inevitable consequences of your separation from or opposition to those laws, either through ignorance, fear or self-will. Never fear that you cannot do a certain thing, that you cannot bring out certain qualities from within you, that you cannot overcome obstacles on your path. Remember that all things are possible to a power which governs the whole universe and that you are the very embodiment of that power. Latent within you are all those forces and qualities of yours. Your problem is to bring them out. How this is accomplished will be the subject of the following lessons, as the closing instructions of this lesson will be given to you to exercises, relaxation and silence, which you are to start today and to practice regularly throughout the whole week. These two, together with the star exercise and mental contact which will be explained in lesson 2, form the foundation for succeeding exercises of a specific sort. They are to be practiced continually, not only during the period of the lessons, but throughout your entire life. They must become a part of your daily routine, just as important and vital to your well-being as the food of which you partake, the air you breathe or the care which you give to your body. The 15 or 20 minutes a day which will be regularly devoted to these exercises will be the best investment of time and energy you ever made in your life. The specific exercises based on these 4, however, are designed to suit the particular lesson with which they are given. A new one will be added each week, but is to be practiced for that week only and then held in reserve for future use whenever you feel a special need for it. The Science of Being is an essentially practical course, one which, if practiced daily, will bring forth all you expect from it and even more. But if you will be satisfied with the perusal only of these lessons and then expect them to produce result, without any effort from your side, you will be greatly disappointed. It is a very well-known fact that the more you use an organ or faculty, the better it works and the stronger it grows. All the exercises given in this course are arranged systematically and progressively, and are designed in such a way as to develop gradually all your latent qualities and powers, making them stronger and more productive every day. These exercises are also of a sort that everybody, men and women of all ages and in different stages of development, can easily perform without the least trouble. Even children can do some of the fundamental exercises and obtain most constructive results. The ones which are most adaptable to children will be especially pointed out. It is advisable, in fact quite important, that these exercises should be performed under the most favorable conditions, which are the following. You choose a certain time of the day, preferably in the morning immediately on getting up, or the last thing before going to sleep. The morning is better, as one's forces are fresh after the night's rest. If possible, always keep the same hour. Try to be by yourself, with nobody in your immediate vicinity, in order that other people's mental vibrations may not interfere with your own very delicate mental work. Be comfortably seated in a chair, the body erect but not tense, with the left hand up resting on your left knee, palm upwards, and the right hand on your right knee, palm down. Be careful not to cross your legs. Eyes may be kept open or closed, but preferably closed. In that posture, the body is most favorably disposed both to receive from outside the life energy which is tilling all space and to convey and distribute it through the complex nervous system to all parts of your body, and especially to the brain. Universal life energy will enter mainly through your left hand, whose palm is turned upwards, receiving the force from above. Through the nerves of the left hand and arm, that force is conveyed to the spinal cord, and through the spinal cord to that nucleus and center of radiation of life in your body, which is called the life center of it. That center is situated at the very base of the spinal column, and from there it radiates life vibrations throughout the whole body. That center was known to the ancients, especially to the Hindus, who called it Kundalini, the coiled or serpent power, because it is like a sleeping serpent, coiled, resting. Using modern terminology, we would say it is life energy in a static condition. From this life center, which it stimulates first, the current of life energy flows into the solar plexus, which is called solar because the radiation of the nerves which form it looks like sun rays proceeding from a common center. The solar plexus is a reservoir where life currents are stored to be distributed to the different parts of the body according to their needs. After the current of life energy has filled to the brim the solar plexus, its surplus is conveyed from there back to the spinal cord, passing through and purifying on its way all the different interior organs. Then it goes through the right arm to the right hand, from the fingertips of which it flows again out into space. It is a continual flowing in and flowing out of your body of universal life energy, stimulating, invigorating, purifying, developing, and harmonizing it. Not only does the life energy penetrate into your body through the above-mentioned channel, but it enters into it, when you are properly relaxed and in the right posture, through every cell of your body. The cells inhale that force, which then travels along the nerves to the life center of the body and back again, to be exhaled by the same cells in a form of life radiation called the aura or human atmosphere. In Lesson 2 we'll be given more details on that subject. Exercises. The 2 exercises to be acquired by you first are relaxation and silence, without which no other exercise can be properly performed. Only when the body and mind are completely relaxed can you get what is called a real rest, for only then are you in the most ideally receptive condition. All the gates of your body and mind are then open to the inflow of that supreme universal power called life energy. When starting relaxation, do not expect it to be perfect from the very beginning. To relax at will, like everything else, needs practice. If you notice that there is any tension in any part of your body when you are seated in the chair in the correct posture, let it go. Try to feel physically as comfortable and as much at ease as you can. The same also with your mind. Relax your brain as much as possible. Try not to think of anything, but just to sense rest, peace. And when that condition is attained, then enter mentally into silence. That is, try to silence within your own self for the time being all impulses, desires and even thought. You will not be able to attain perfect silence within yourself right from the start, but every time you practice it, you will gain something in that direction. Practice those 2 exercises conjointly for about 5 minutes. Later on, when you will have trained yourself in that direction, a few minutes of relaxation and silence will be quite sufficient to rest completely your body and mind and to open them to the inflow of life energy. These 2 exercises are fundamental ones, and though very simple and easy to perform, yet they are most helpful, constructive, and necessary for your well-being. It is a known fact that those who can relax properly for a few moments during physical or mental work are able to produce, with less effort, greater results than those who do not know how to do it. Later on, when you will have trained yourself sufficiently in this direction, you will be able to relax and enter into silence instantaneously whenever and wherever you feel the need, even in a crowd or amidst noise and disturbed conditions. In practicing relaxation and silence, you will gradually gain such control over yourself that unfavorable surroundings will no longer be able so to influence you as to prevent you from deriving all the benefits from these 2 exercises whenever you choose. Questions and answers to Lesson 1. 1. What are the fundamental principles of being? The fundamental principles of being are: 1. A primary causeless cause of all being, the great principle, or the unmanifest. 2. Its first manifestation, called universal life energy, which in its condensed condition is known as universal substance, or electrons. 2. What are forces of the universe? The forces of the universe are: 1. Life energy. 2. Its expression as mind force. 3. Its highest manifestation as love, or soul power. 3. What are the laws which govern them? The laws which govern them are: the laws of nature, which are the expressions of the one universal law, called the Great Law. 4. What is universal life energy and where is it to be found? Universal life energy is the fundamental manifested power of the universe, and as such is omnipresent, omniscient and omnipotent. 5. What are its main aspects? The main aspects of universal life energy are life, mind, law, truth and love. 6. Explain vibrations. Vibrations are the rhythmic motion of universal life energy. As everything in nature is made up of universal energy, everything therefore vibrates or moves. 7. What are electrons? Electrons are individual units of condensed universal life energy. They appear as microscopic spheres and are the smallest known particles of what is called matter. 8. What is matter? Matter is a combination of various manifestations of universal life energy in degrees perceptible to our senses. 9. What is man? Man is an individualized, conscious, compound and harmonious projection of the great principle into its own eternal substance. 10. What is man's relation to nature and to universal forces and laws? Man's relation to nature and to universal forces and laws is: man is one with nature and is the best medium known through which universal forces and laws express themselves. 2. What is disharmony? Disharmony is an unconscious or conscious opposition to the forces and laws of the universe. It is the perversion of the natural law of evolution. 12. How can it be removed? Disharmony can be removed by consciously uniting oneself with universal life energy, the supreme power.